Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. We're back for another 10 games of the 101 best games of all time, according to me, of course.
According to you.
Yes.
Don't be so downtrodden when you say that.
Hey everybody, I'm the Game Boy Geek. This is my friend.
Greg Dickson, thanks for having me again. I'm looking forward to this week.
If you haven't seen the video that came up a few days from this, I'll put a link in the description, and you can click the little video just above us now, because in that one I'll actually describe how these games play and what they're about very quickly, and I'll tell you why I love them. This is more about Greg talking about the games and me talking about the games and our experience with them as well.
Almost kind of a reaction video.
Yes, he's trying to debunk my top 100s.
I feel like I've done a bad job of debunking so far.
Yep.
I've liked the first 10.
First one, number 90, is an abstract sort of game from WizKids that has animals and a fluctuating market.
I'm not surprised this is on your list at all.
No.
There's so much replayability built in with the different kinds of animals.
Yeah.
The fluctuating market, which you like. I mean, this is an abstract meets economic game. This is a lot of things you love in a tight, fast package.
Can you think of any other abstract economic games?
There's people screaming at their device right now. Thinking of one off the top of my head. Let's see, abstract economic games. I don't know. Maybe Acquire is kind of abstract. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that is.
I mean, it just depends on how much you want to abstract out the theme. I mean, obviously there's a theme here as well.
Yeah.
But it does feel fairly pasted on. But who cares? Because it is fun to mix the different animals together, and they often move and react kind of the way you would expect that animal to move.
Yeah. Like the zebra charges.
Yeah, there's a big heavy animal might push people out of the way versus like a bird.
Oh yeah, the rhinoceros or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, they did do a good job of trying to kind of put the theme on it. But yeah, this is two great tastes that taste great together for you, abstract and economic.
But you liked it quite a bit too, right?
Oh yeah, I picked this one up and I played it quite a bit, and it works at 2. Yeah. It works at different player counts, but it works at 2 as well.
You think the fluctuating market is as interesting with 2?
Probably better with more players, but I mean, it doesn't take much away to play it with 2. Yeah, I mean, you're able to keep track of the knowledge better with 2, obviously. Yeah. But you're also able to be more in their face, and so it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, I think.
Yeah, and now the game can be mean, right?
Yeah, it can be a little bit mean because you're pushing things around. You're trying to. Sometimes there's an element of predicting what people might want to do and kind of thwarting their ability to do those things.
Yeah, like I guess because you don't play with all the animals every time, so you could take like the more take-thatty ones out because you don't play with all the animals, right? So
yeah, you don't play with all the animals. This is a good one though. I'm not surprised this is on your list. I don't know if I would have thought to like predict it if I was trying to predict the top 100, but seeing it's not a surprise at all.
Yeah, number 90, Bamutu.
All right,
next one, number 89. We are going to be looking at Gunky Mono, which, interestingly enough, most people don't know about it. Because this actually came out originally as a farming game from a European publisher called Heartland.
That's how you first showed this.
Yeah, which like Z Garcia, thanks so much for doing that review, because it made me buy the game, and then I loved it so much when it was out of print and you couldn't really get anywhere. I brought it to Renegade Games and said, you guys really should print this, and they did. I love this game. But you like it too, right?
Yeah, I have a copy of this one, and I've played it a fair amount. I like both the themes feel somewhat pasted on again, kind of going back to that as well. The fact that it can be like samurai factions warring, or it can be a farming game, that just shows that like mechanically it's the same. Yeah. And they use both those themes. So, if that bothers you. But my recollection with this one is that it's still available. It wasn't a huge hit. Yeah. So you can usually find it really inexpensive. Yeah. And it's worth twice. It's a deal at twice the price because it's a really interesting, and it's fairly mean. Yeah. Actually, this theme probably works better than the farming theme, honestly.
Yeah, this game is super mean because you're cutting people off.
Yep.
It's a spatial puzzle. Most people probably watch my videos and go, he seems so nice. And I'm like, in real life I am. When I play games, not so much.
This is where you get that road rage out, is when you get a chance to sit at the table and cut someone's big point moneymaker in Gunky Mono.
Yeah.
Because there is a big element of that. Yeah. People create these big... It almost kind of reminds me of like Lords of Vegas, which you mentioned that like weekend with our buddies lately, We played that one there, and it's kind of the same idea where they'll have like this big chain where they're making tons of money on it, and you want to try to go in there and disrupt it.
Yeah.
And Gukimono has
this game's all about disrupting. Yeah. It is a mean game.
It's a tile-laying, spatial, sort of 3D
with both short-term and long-term goals.
And fast-paced and short playtime. Did we mention it was mean? Gukimono makes total sense that this is on your list.
Don't let him fool you. He looks all nice and smiley too, but he's meaner than anybody, except me.
You play to win. You play to win. You don't get mad if you don't win, but you play to win, right?
Yeah, you might be the meanest one. I can be pretty mean, but you.
What?
Yeah. Gukimono number 89. Number 88. Earlier we talked about a game in last week's video. Yeah. If you didn't watch that one, go back and watch it. That was 101 through 91. We talked about Happy Salmon and playing it outside and angering my neighbors late at night. This was the one I alluded to that we played at 2 in the morning with 11 people screaming, yelling, hollering. Number 88, Panic on Wall Street.
Gamer's Pit.
Gamer's Pit is a good way to put this.
If you don't know Pit, you're like yelling, trying to make deals.
Isn't there a bell?
To trade resources. Yeah, I think it like ends the market phase or whatever. Yeah. And this is the same kind of making deals in a short period of time, yelling and screaming and trying to get people's attention. But it really fits with the theme, right? Because you think of that like footage you've seen of like the guy, people on people on Wall Street trying to make the deals.
A little different.
Yeah, whatever. Fix that in post. You see that footage of people like making deals, trying to make trades, trying to make money on Wall Street. And this really kind of puts you in that setting as you pull out this game and play it. And great, you mentioned playing it at 11.
Yeah.
I mean, great game for people, that you can actually play at 11.
It's loud.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The cool thing is like half of you play as stockbrokers and the other half of you play as like money managers.
So you can play it again and switch and have a very different experience.
Very different. And it's like the two best people, the best person at each one. Right. So there's always two winners.
This is one I'd love to get back to.
It's awesome. If you're a publisher out there, because this has been out of print for so long,
such a shame.
You gotta reprint this. Somebody pick this up. Panic on Wall Street, 88. Number 87 is a game. It's the game that put Restoration Games on the map where they redid an older game called Stop Thief. Number 87, Stop Thief, which you've got the original one.
I've got the original one. It was like an app-driven game before there were smartphones and apps, right? Because you had these little electronic controllers and stuff. Now they've put that all on the phone, which makes sense in 2020 or
which you can play the new one on the app with the old sounds.
Which is cool, very cool. But at the time, it felt so high-tech. Now there's games all the time that need apps and stuff to run them. But it just makes so much sense to redo this game with modern technology. Yeah. And then as a result, being able to come out with all the different modes. Now, I haven't played this new version. This might be the only one on the list so far that we haven't played together.
Yeah, probably.
But I'd love to try it because I have great memories of playing the original as a kid, hearing the windows crash and go, oh, man. He's by a window? Okay, hold on. Where's all the windows? I thought he was over here. But if he broke a window, he must be over here. And that fun of like, it's a hidden movement game, basically. Yeah. And trying to figure that out and combine deduction and hidden movement with the electronic aspect seemed so cool at the time. Yeah. I'm not surprised this helped put
this was
put
one
him
of
back on the
I
map
remember
again.
The first time I came to your house like 8 years ago after we met at Dice Tower Con. So we both go to Dice Tower Con. We live in Arizona.
In Florida.
We both were in Florida. Like thousands of miles away, and almost everybody there was from Florida.
Yeah.
And we sat down at the table like, where are you from? Arizona. Me too. Where are you from? Phoenix. Yeah, me too. No, where are you really from? And we just realized that we lived like 20 minutes apart. Yeah. And so we've been gaming together ever since. And the first time I came over to your house, this was one of the boxes that I remember going, wow, I've never, I've heard about this, but I'd never seen it. Because I've played a lot of Restorations games. Like Fireball Island I had as a kid. Dark Tower I had as a kid. We were just talking earlier how, Dark Tower was like, I'm the youngest of 3 boys, you're the youngest of 3 boys, and like, it was our combined 3 birthdays and 3 Christmas presents.
My parents used to do that too.
And I actually did play it 2 years ago, and even though it brought back the original, and even though it brought back the nostalgic value of the brigands coming up and the sounds and watching the thing flip. Other than that, it was terrible. Like, why did we like this game? It's so random. It's terrible.
It seemed high tech and cool at the time.
But I have played the new version, a prototype of it, and it's going to be this big, grandiose 2-hour-long cooperative game with skulls falling out of the tower. Like,
it's going to be a huge hit for them, and well deserved.
Yeah, not everyone's gonna like it though. Like if you go into it thinking it's gonna be old Dark Tower, it's not. This is a gamer's game.
The funny thing is, you and I both played games that they've restored.
Yeah.
But like the opposite
Different
ones. Because I played Stop Thief and Dragon Master, and you played Dark Tower and Fireball
Island. Yeah.
So it's like we were like on different sides of that.
So I don't know why I got rid of both of those. Probably because they were just so big.
Would you love to still have
both of those boxes were so big. Fireball Island was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Hopefully, it ended up in a good home. Maybe you put it in Goodwill and someone bought it and some kids still enjoy it.
It's in a landfill somewhere. we both know that.
Be an optimist.
No, in this case. But yes, so the reason why this is really on this list is it's a great game, but it probably wouldn't have made my top 100 until recently, the second edition, they came out with a fully cooperative version and a one versus many version.
That's cool.
So you can play competitively, cooperatively, or one versus many. I actually like this best fully cooperatively.
Oh, really?
Because you get different there's new character abilities, and then there's the people the criminals that you're trying to find have new abilities that go against cooperativeness. I like cooperative.
This one I would like to try.
Because with the competitive game, it's like I caught the criminal here, he comes up somewhere else, and I'm very unlikely to get that next criminal because I'm so far away from him.
I see.
Cooperative is like, it doesn't matter who gets them.
Yeah.
You got him here, oh, you're close to this, let's try to figure out how you can get him or how someone might be able to get him.
That's probably also, and I'm speaking out of turn somewhat because I haven't played it, but I imagine that's the most gateway version of the versions as well.
Yeah.
Because if there's someone who doesn't quite get what you're doing, you can be like, don't worry, you'll get it as we go, and we'll help you, and we're all just trying to solve
You're supposed to be debunking my list, Greg.
Hey, it's not going to be on my top 100, even though I played it growing up, but I understand why you like it. I remember when it first came out, you were really hot on this one.
Yeah.
You were really excited about it.
Stop Thief, number 87. All right, number 86 is actually probably the heaviest, not by weight of holding things, but weight of playing. 86 is Pulsar 2849. This is the heaviest of them all so far. It might be the heaviest on this entire list too, because I don't typically like super heavy games. I don't mind them, and if they are heavy and I like, and they're good, I'll play them.
I think for you, it just needs to support its weight in a way. Like it needs to be such a good experience that you're like, I'm willing to commit 2-3 hours
for every
to this.
15 minutes longer than 60 minutes your game is, it better be a step function
like
better.
Exponentially better. Yeah,
it has to be.
Yeah, because there's so many great games. Even Ankh we played the other day, 70 minutes, right? Like
Two-player.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're going to have some game that takes 2-3 hours, you're like, but I can get a pretty epic experience out of something like Ankh in 70 minutes. You got to really be bringing something cool to the table.
This one's 2 hours at least.
Yeah, but I remember liking it. Now, this is when you taught me, when it first came out, I want to say 2018. Played it 2 or 3 times, remember really liking it. But I think because you had it and because it was fairly heavy, I just thought, if I want to play it, I'll play it with Dan. I don't need my own copy. Yeah. So I'm a little rusty on exactly everything you do. I remember exploring planets.
Yeah.
I remember there being like tracks maybe that you're moving up and down, that sort of thing. I remember liking that it was science fiction, even though it was generic science fiction over sort of generic trading in the Mediterranean kind of Euro style game.
Yep.
This one I'd love to try again.
Me too. The reason why I haven't is because I know it's going to be a bear to teach and learn and stuff. We were talking earlier that sometimes I know it's weird, but like if I were to play this game again, I probably, even though the rulebook is really good because CGE always does good rulebooks and Paul Grogan helps them out and stuff, but this would be one where I would like maybe in my own room with my door shut play my video of me teaching the game, so I can like skip most of the rulebook.
Who's this handsome devil teaching me my own game?
Once in a while, that does come out at game night where we're like, I don't feel like reading the rules again. I haven't played this in 2 years. Let's just watch my video and then I'll skim the rules.
I could stumble through a 40-minute rule explanation, or we could watch my beautifully produced 19-minute rule explanation.
This one's probably 19 minutes of rules, easy. No, but let's go. Yeah, you're flying around. The turn order track's so interesting. There's so many different strategies. There's also different tech trees every game that score differently, and it just has so much good stuff going on. In fact, this became my favorite dice placement, worker placement game, and it overtook like Grand Austria Hotel.
Wow.
And
you loved Grand Austria Hotel.
I
mean,
did.
You still do,
I
I'm
did.
sure,
And then I played this, I was like, oh my gosh, and then one night I played them back to back, and it solidified it. It was like, this game is so much better.
Wow. That's high praise. They're both acclaimed, but I think Grand Austria Hotel is probably higher ranked, if I had to guess on BGG.
That'd be a good thing to look up. I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll look up in editing. Find out. So that's Pulsar 2849 from CGE, number 86.
All right, kids. Through the magic of editing, I checked it out. Grand Austria Hotel is 82, and Pulsar 2849 is ranked 216 on BGG. So they're both
That's huge.
I mean,
they're both up
top
there.
200-300 is crazy.
If you're under 1,000, you're a fantastic game.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, what, 30, 40,000 games on BGG.
Yeah.
So anything in the top 1,000 obviously is really good.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that the 216 dethroned the 82 for you.
Yeah, but I think it's because Grand Austria Hotel's been around for a lot longer too.
Yeah, it's a couple, 3 years older, I would say.
Yeah,
I
so
think
probably
it's
has more
2015,
ratings.
The other one's 2017 or 18.
And I think with the expansion coming out recently, the Let's Waltz
Yeah.
probably helped it up.
I wonder
as
if
well.
this one underperformed, like for how quality it is.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find an audience.
It
that
is
think-
heavier than that. I mean, Grand Austria Hotel's medium weight.
Let me
With this,
see.
I'd say this is more.
I think I can
medium
look
heavy.
that up real quick.
Oh, the
Grand Austria Hotel weight is 3.22.
whoa, this one's gonna be at least 3.5.
And Pulsar, oh wait, hold on. I lost it.
3.22. That's still heavier than I would. Well, 3 is medium, right? So.
And Pulsar is 3.35. So it's
it's
considered
not-
slightly heavier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It feels a lot heavier. But maybe it isn't the heaviest game
I
on my
remember
list.
the theme. It probably is. The only contender might be Manhattan Project. I don't think that's a 3.
No.
I think, from what I remember of this one, the theme helps with the mechanics, though.
That's for sure.
Like, it kind of makes sense,
did look
and
good.
it helps you understand the rules better.
Yeah, the
I'm
problem.
not saying the others don't. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that if you're intimidated by that weight rating on BGG, don't be as much, because at least thematically it makes sense.
That is very true.
There's other games that we've played and talked about where you enjoy them in the game, but if you haven't played it for like a week, you forget all the rules because it just feels like random. Like you can't link the mechanics.
Oh, you
to
mean
the
like
theme.
Lisboa?
Lisboa is an example, yeah.
Which is probably heavier than this from BGG ratings.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
But I feel like this actually has more going on than that. It's just more intuitive.
I think of the two, I would enjoy this one more, and I do think this one's more intuitive.
Yeah. All right, next one. Speaking of the opposite of heavy games,
Okay.
you and I both love trick-taking games.
Yeah.
Play along with me, folks. We're going to try to see if Greg can guess some of these.
Yeah, we got to get back in that routine.
Yeah. So this is a trick-taking game.
Okay. There's a few that come to mind right away.
Yeah, most of you won't get this because there weren't very many printed. It's from a local publisher in town, and it's about animals of some sort.
Animal trick-taking game. Wait a minute. Oh, of course! Pups! Wow!
Pups is probably my second or third favorite trick-taking game of all time. I think it's that good.
Well, I can guess some of the ones that are coming up later on. Because when you first said trick-taking, I thought of some of the other ones first. But I was a little bewildered because I'm like, in the 80s? Like, there's at least one or two I can think of that I'm pretty confident will be top 50.
This is probably one of the most underrated games ever. Like, it's such a good trick-taking game. The fact that you can lose a bid in a round and then rebid that and turn minus points into positive points is just awesome.
This is the designer Charlie Bink, who people know from the trekking games.
Trekking the national parks, trekking the world.
Which have done really well. Like, they're well-known games. They're
and disclaimer,
beloved.
he does live in our area and he is a friend of ours.
Yeah, he's someone we've gamed with.
Yeah, he comes to game nights.
We've had the chance to interact with the
Super
game.
nice dude.
Yeah, great guy. He's also was a board game. He also did a lot of art for board games before. He was a designer and in publishing and stuff as well. So he's kind of done it all. And he brings that skill set to everything he he creates. And I think his goal, and I obviously don't want to speak for him, is to make games that are approachable, games that people can learn quickly, but I think are still engaging for people who like heavier games, who are hardcore gamers.
Yeah, most of his games hit my sweet spot.
Most trick-taking people will look at the the dog art on this, most hardcore quote-unquote gamers, and be like, this looks family weight, silly, whatever, but be pleasantly surprised at how good it is.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Charlie, will you please reprint this thing? Because it's awesome and it needs to be in more people's hands. I've already had this conversation like 8 times and there's no way it's happening.
We I think backed it or something, and we have some of the art too, just like little prints.
Oh, yeah.
That are like in my kid's room and stuff like that. Because the art in it is adorable, but it's mechanically interesting as well.
Reprint it, Charlie. I know where you live. All right, that's number 85, Pups. All right, next one, number 84. This is a very small, can fit in your pocket style, press your luck game that came out in recent years that has an 80s look.
Push!
I swear I have not told him any of these things. I haven't even put my video live for this yet. He has no idea what my things are.
No, I haven't seen it. I don't know.
But we have very similar tastes in gaming, so
Push. I have a funny story with Push because I got this as like a free handout at a convention.
BGG Con.
Yeah, BGG Con. That's right. It was BGG Con. And if you've been to some of these bigger conventions like BGG Con, not that it's huge, but they'll often give you free games, just sort of as part of, hey, welcome to the con. Pick out something from this shelf or whatever.
Or at my house.
And I grabbed Push, and I probably had it for like 6 months because it just looks like Uno or something, right? And
totally does.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, okay, how good could it be? It's free at a con. But they were doing it to promote it early. It wasn't because it was some old game that they were just had extra copies of. It was a promotion, right? So then, like, some friend of mine texted me and is like, oh, you got to try this game I just discovered. It's called Push. It's so good. And I'm like, I've had that game for like 6 months. And he's telling me it's so good. You got to try it.
I think you taught me this one.
I think I did teach you
Because
this
you know what?
one.
We were having a conversation offline about,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder how many games I've actually taught you that are going to be in your top 100. And then, like...
I forgot I taught you Push.
Yeah.
Yeah, I taught you Push, and then you bought it right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was an instant
I've bought it
win for you.
And I think I made a video last year like, best push your luck game under $15, and this was it.
And this is something you could play with anybody.
Anybody, but it's still fun.
Oh, it's a blast. And it's better than it looks.
Plus, just because of the name gives me an excuse to hit Greg, which...
Like you need that.
Which if you've ever seen us play...
I can list about 10 games that you feel like give you an excuse to hit me.
Don't get Suzanne Sheldon all riled up about this because...
That's a whole story.
Yeah.
Sometimes Dan gets a little animated, especially if there's a hidden trader game.
Back in the early days of gaming, my good friend Suzanne Sheldon and I were playing a game, and I got a little excited because she was a trader and she lied to me the whole game, and I just went, what? And just like not out of like, I hate you, get out of here. Just like, you got to be kidding me. But shock. She's like 25 pounds.
Yeah. The moral of the story is don't sit next to Dan.
Yeah.
He gets a little excitable.
I do. Sorry, Suzanne. I didn't mean to push
Don't give him any sugar.
Yeah, no caffeine needed. Push number 84. Check it out. It's a great one. All right, this next one is number 83, and we'll see if Greg can guess this. And you play along with me. This is going to be a pretty easy one, I think.
Okay.
This is a trivia game.
Okay, there's a few that come to mind.
That is based off a Freedom and Freeze design. And that design had to do with animals.
Is this America?
Oh man, you did it so quick. It's based off of fauna.
Okay, I forgot what it was based off of.
Now this one is from Bezier Games.
Yeah.
And so Ted Alspach got together with Freedom and Freeze and
I forgot there was that collaboration. I kind of forgot it was based off of Freedom and Freeze game.
I feel like this is one of the most underrated games out there, and it did not do well, unfortunately. I wish it did because I want expansion cards. This game is so awesome because people are afraid of trivia games because they don't want to feel like they're stupid. Everyone grew up playing crappy Trivia Pursuit, and you get all these obscure questions that nobody knows the answers to, and you just go around this thing over and over. Talking about flipping tables, that game is flipping awful. So people are scarred. So that anytime you ask someone, do you want to play a trivia game, the first thing they think of is, frickin' pie wedges, I don't want to know. So this is a game that I've introduced to many non-gamers and gamers. And of course, they have the Trivia Pursuit like on guard on.
Yeah.
But it's so amazing because you don't need to know the answer. You just need to get close.
It's also kind of like Wits and Wagers, right? Where you can see what other people are guessing and be like, oh, I really thought this monument was in this state, but everyone's going over here, so I guess I'll go over here.
Oh, and by the way, if you don't live in America, you're probably not going to like this one as much because there's geography built into the game where you're putting cubes on states. Some of the questions are pop culture, so this is somewhat of a limited.
Get fauna or get one of the
other
other
ones. So all the fans
instead.
out on the other side of the world get fauna or something else that uses this engine.
Is Terra related to this
Terra
too?
was the second one of this.
Yeah, and I remember liking that one also.
This one actually added a few new mechanisms that actually are really good.
Right.
Like, I can bet that no one's going to know it.
Yes.
And no one's going to be adjacent, and I'll get more points than anybody.
Yeah. It sort of fleshes out, it almost like the whole series fleshes out like the Wits and Wagers kind of feeling of just, okay, I don't know it, but I think they know it. I'm going to kind of go with the group.
Or I think it's in this general area. I'll put a cube on Colorado because I know it's going to be adjacent.
But yeah, if you're not American, do Terra or Fauna, and you're going to get a similar experience.
Yeah.
And it'll rejuvenate the
trivia
genre for you.
I promise you won't hate this like Trivia Pursuit. This is fantastic. I just wish more copies were sold. We need expansions, folks.
There's too many releases, Good games fly under the radar, unfortunately.
This is like so underrated. just go buy it. This next one, I don't think Greg's going to guess this one, actually.
Oh, is this the first one probably?
Yeah, I think so. This is a bluffing game, a quick, small bluffing game. Spoiler, it's not Skull, so don't go there. It's a quick bluffing game with cards. I'm not even sure it ever came out in North America, but it has cute animals. And you're bluffing about them, and the animals are adorable, and on the cover is kind of like a woolly mammoth looking thing.
Oh.
Another one that Z Garcia told me about.
Is it just called Woolly?
No, but it's very close.
Okay.
Mamus.
Oh, I haven't played this one.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's so good. And it's out of print. Please print this again. Z, thank you for showing me this one too back in the day. I think, you know what? Z taught me this, the same Dice Tower Con that you and I played.
Really?
Met at.
Oh, cool.
He taught me this there, and I was like, I instantly bought it from Europe.
I've seen that cover 100 times. I know of it.
People like Skull. You like Skull.
I love Skull.
This game replaced Skull for me.
Really?
It's amazing.
Yeah, I like those sorts of games. I feel like there's another newer game.
The reason why this one's on this list, I know it's super light, and it's pretty high on this list for being so light. Yeah. This game is so memorable.
Yeah.
I remember playing this in a pub one time with some friends, and we just kept bluffing on the same guy and kept screwing him over and screwing him over. And we got to the point that we were literally grown men crying that we were laughing so hard. And the next day I woke up and my stomach was sore, and I was like, did I do 90 sit-ups yesterday? No, I played freaking Mamus.
Wow. Okay, that's high praise. I'm interested.
And it's like those moments are like why this game is so great.
Huh.
Because like I already explained in the other video, but essentially like it's like a pyramid deck. There's like 2 2s, 3 3s, 7 7s, 9 9s. And so you might, first person go, I've got 2 of these 3s.
Okay.
And you're saying the animal. 2 squirrels. Yeah. But there's only 3 from the deck. And someone's like,
okay.
And the next person goes, I've got 2 squirrels. And you're like, well, now I know one of you 2 are lying.
Yeah.
And the next person goes, well, I've got 2 squirrels. And the next person goes, you're all flipping lying. But here's the great thing. That last person that they said it after 4 people.
Might be the only one telling the truth.
Might be the only one telling the truth. And even if they have one of them, they put their cards face down, and the person that challenges them gets to only pick one of them face down. And they might actually pick the one that's true, and they don't even know that they've been lying.
That's a cool twist.
It's awesome. Because when you get challenged, and you throw 3 cards down, and one of them is the good one, and you get challenged, and you're sitting there, and you're like shaking.
I could imagine the tension, yeah.
And then they flip it up, and it's the one you go, see, I was telling you the truth. And then they look at the cards and they go, and everyone else is like, it's the best, dude. It's awesome.
That's cool because I played, obviously people play Perudo or Liar's Dice or Skull, but that seems like a cool twist, that extra element to that style of game. It's
probably the best, just pure, quick bluffing game I have.
These little games really can just disappear.
This comes
quickly.
in that like little Abacus Spiel card box that like no thanks comes in.
Those games can come and go really fast.
I know. I wish this would get reprinted. Thank you, Z, for showing this to me.
I got to try this one. I'm excited.
Mamus. Good luck finding it. All right, number 81 is a 2-player card game. Kind of feels like a Kenichi game, but it's really not. It had come out in multiple printings with different names or slightly different rules, actually. The last one's from Rio Grande Games. It's kind of a kiddish looking thing. It's very colorful.
I'm surprised. I thought this fell out of favor. I mean, I'm thinking of what I think it is, but I thought this kind of fell out of favor with you.
I don't think you've been wrong yet. Have you been wrong yet? No, you haven't been wrong yet.
Well, there's a couple that I've never played, so I couldn't guess, like Mamus.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but Pinata.
Of course.
Did you get tired of Pinata?
I did.
Like, I remember us playing this.
This is a weird thing because I bought this game. I taught you.
Yes, and I liked it, and I picked up my own copy at the time.
And I think some other of our friends bought it after that.
Yeah, I know some people who have it.
And then I realized that I was playing a rule wrong, that if you read the rule, whatever, I screwed up. But I was playing like a more lenient way.
Yeah, it's more stringent than
the game's a little more stringent than I realized. And when I played the stringent way, I was like, I don't like this as much.
I remember
And I got rid of it.
I remember us having conversations about that, me going, I think it's still good. I really like it. And you're kind of like, nah, I'm over it. So this has been, if you want me to debunk, to use your term, something on your list, this one shocks me the most because I really thought you were like done with this one, washed your hands, you were over Pinata.
The interesting thing is this is one of 3 games at least that I have a love-hate relationship like that with, that I've actually gotten rid of and then got back.
And are the other 2 on your list here?
Not only are they on my list, one of them's in my top 10, And one of them's in my top 20.
Okay, you went from I don't even need to own this to top 10.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yes, 2 other games. And we're going to get there as to...
Dude, it's going to be weeks. I'm bummed because I'm like trying to think, what could it possibly be?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we'll have a long conversation about that. But this one, it's back in my favorite now. I played it again the rules way, and I was like, okay, so essentially you're playing cards back and forth, and if there's like 4 candies on there, 2 green, 2 pink, I thought the rule said...
Just greens and pinks.
Just greens and pinks you can play. And
Instead
it's not. It's exactly 2 greens
yeah.
and exactly 2 pinks. And I felt like that the game was too lucky. And like,
just based on the card draw.
Based on the card draw, you're just too limited because there's too much randomness, you know. But in the end, I ended up still really liking it.
I think there's like a meta game to this. I think there's like a bluffing almost element where you can act like you're really confident in a certain area and get a couple of cards down and then kind of scare them away from that when really you don't have the cards you need. I think that element of it, which is only going to emerge after quite a few plays, I think that kind of makes up for the luck of the draw element as well. And there's also the wild suit that you can use very judiciously.
Yeah.
And depending on when and where you use that and hanging on to cards because you know, okay, I mean, people might know from your other video, I haven't seen it, but like at some point the objective flips. And now you need low cards. And you know it's coming, and you know it's coming fairly soon based on the cards that are being played. And so there's an element of like keeping cards for like later rounds.
Yeah.
So like
there's a lot
like
here.
I said, there's more than you'd expect, especially based on the art and the look and the theme, which is just busting open pinatas and taking candies.
And from what I remember talking to Stephen Glenn, the designer, is he said it originally came out as Balloon Cup.
Yes, I haven't played that version.
And that publisher actually changed some of his original design rules.
Oh, and I think he brought it back.
This was like the way he originally intended. I think a Balloon Cup you can play on the opposite side right away.
And
this one, I don't quote me on that, but it was something to do with that.
And that element too is really unique. Even though this is lighter than something like Lost Cities or Battle Line, I think some people would kind of scoff at it because of that. That element of being able to quickly get the cards down on your side and meeting that threshold so that you can play on the other side is unique and is interesting. And the timing on that is really interesting.
Yeah.
I like games with that intricate, kind of delicate timing. And Lost Cities has an element of that as well with discarding and stuff. So that's why I kind of grouped the 2 in my head.
So you like the game. You're just
I like the game, but it's BS that you're putting it on your list because you told me years ago, I got rid of that one. That's lousy.
He's just mad because he didn't know it was on the list.
I knew it was good all along, and I kept my copy, and my wife and I played all the time.
Always trying to one-up me, Greg. Whatever. All right, number 81, Pinata.
Good choice.
All right, well, there you have it. Number 90 through 81, 101 best games of all time, right, Greg? Right?
Yeah, according to you.
So there you have it. So next week, we're going to do another 10. I'll do a video first with going over all the games and how to play them in 1 minute. And then we'll have another video where Greg debunks me or the games or both or neither. We'll find out.
Or calls foul when you put a game on the list that you said you hated and you were totally over.
Yes, that's true. I guess he didn't realize I already loved that one again. That too, and I'll try to keep the guessing game going. I know we didn't do it as much in this video as the other one, but we'll continue that up in the next ones. And that's it. We'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that so you don't miss this next series. This is going to be a great next 10 weeks.
Ring that bell so you get notifications.
Yes. It's been a Game Boy Geek.
Greg Dickson, thanks for having me. This has been fun. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table to a high-quality gaming solution, they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with their amazing, thematic, premium stitch edge mats from noted board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and really cool accessories, it's a complete system that upgrades every game you play. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.